morning, afternoon, and evening, passengers. This is your captain speaking. Welcome on board Icn Airlines. Our flight, MWG 2021, around the world through the promotion and implementation of mergers, is ready to depart. Today we are flying from Los Angeles, with stops in Brasilia, Madrid, London, Tokyo, and Melbourne. The weather ahead looks good, and therefore we should have a smooth and uneventful flight. Please take your seat, fasten your seatbelts and masks, and pay attention, even if you are a frequent mergers expert. Thank you, and enjoy our COVID-free trip from your desk around the merger world.
We enhance the effectiveness of our merger review mechanisms.
We facilitate procedural and substantive convergence.
We promote the adoption of best practices in the design and operation of merger review regimes.
In the MWG, we promote and maintain the merger cooperation framework.
We update the MWG contact list.
We have a network of more than 60 jurisdictions and 500 NGAs participating in our projects.
We will discuss how we conduct merger reviews for joint ventures.
Last year, we published a report on conglomerate mergers.
Icn colleagues, I'm Joel Bamford, the Senior Director of Mergers at the UK Competition and Markets Authority. Along with our colleagues from Japan and Spain, we've had the pleasure of co-chairing the Mergers Working Group in 2019-2020, and I'm here to talk through some of the high points of the year. This year, the work product of the Mergers Group has focused on conglomerate mergers and procedural infringements. We conducted detailed surveys of agencies' experiences and have produced 2 summary reports which can be found on the Icn website. These reports set out the experience of agencies across the world and provide information on both analytical assessment and procedural matters. We believe they can be valuable to agencies looking to understand how they compare to others and NGAs wishing to gain an insight into the different practices across the globe. The working group is also an excellent way to hear how agencies and NGAs are developing and adapting their approach to certain issues. And as such, we have held a series of global webinars on digital mergers, exploring novel issues around mergers in dynamic and rapidly evolving markets. Over the past couple of years, to help greater participation by members from across the world, we've held a series of regional webinars, and this year we focused on the topic of sound decision making. The participants discussed and shared experiences in relation to evidence-based decision making, transparency, and independence. Finally, the Mergers Working Group, in cooperation with the ACCC, hosted the 2020 Icn Merger Workshop in Melbourne, Australia. This was a fantastic event and led to some very healthy discussion and debate around how to find the right balance in approaching merger control and remedies in a changing market environment, just as we began to see the world impacted by the coronavirus pandemic. Lastly, I would like to thank all members of the working group and in particular our colleagues from Spain and Japan for all their contributions and ongoing efforts in the work of the Mergers Group. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to our colleagues from CAGE in Brazil, and we look forward to working with them in the year to come.
The CNMC was designated in 2019 as a co-chair of the Merger Working Group. It was a great honor and a pleasure to get more actively involved in the Icn merger community. Our main challenges of the first year were twofold. On the one hand, participating in the internal organization and coordination of the Merger Working Group with the help of our colleagues from the former and current co-chairs, such as the CMA from UK, CARE from Brazil, and the GFTC from Japan. On the other, co-leading together with the CMA the Procedural Infringement Project, which looks into infringements in merger control proceedings. As for the upcoming year, the Merger Working Group has launched several work products. First, merger control in times of crisis. CARE, together with the help of other regional competition authorities such as the GFTC, the CNMC, the Competition Bureau of Canada and the Egyptian Competition Authority, will organize a series of regional webinars to learn from experiences all over the world on dealing with the pandemic and merger control. The webinars will be conducted during September-October 2020 after the ICN annual conference. Second, the joint ventures project. The CNMC will lead this project, which will consist in a survey looking into the assessment of joint ventures in different merger regimes in different jurisdictions. The final product will be a report with the results of the survey in 2021. Another work product looks into merger remedies. The CMA will lead a series of webinars focusing on the way competition authorities deal with merger remedies, including behavioral remedies, structural remedies, as well as a coordination of multi-jurisdictional remedies. Last but not least, in light of the relevance of the merger notification and procedures template, the Merger Working Group, under the leadership of our colleagues from CARE, will review the template, which was last updated in 2009. Thank you.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to have you on board of the Icn Alliance. Thank you for flying with us today and stopping in Brasilia. I am Alexandre Barreto, President of CADE, the Brazilian Competition Authority. Along with my fellow peers from Spain and UK, we are co-chairs of the Merger Working Group. As you could experience during our flight today, the Merger Working Group is committed to promoting the best international practices in merger review and contributing to effective competition enforcement and policy around the globe. Based on Brazil's experience, we can testify that ICN's recommendations, work products, and of course, the collaboration with our international counterparts have been significant allies in the process of enhancing our practices, especially in merger analysis. Our aim is that the Merger Working Group can continually serve as a platform for the sharing of experiences, becoming more and more diverse and inclusive, and helping the international competition community to better deal with the challenges of our times. This year in particular, we faced a challenging period with great courage, and we were stronger because of each other's support and cooperation. We aim to keep working on enhancing merger analysis, learning and evolving from the challenges and working for the promotion of sound competition all around the world. All voices and experiences matter to the ICN. That's why we encourage all ICN members from all regions to participate in our projects. Your contribution is essential to the ICN's mission.
Passengers, this is your captain speaking again. We are approaching our next stop, Tokyo, where our colleagues from the JFTC will explain the Congruent Mergers Project Report, successfully completed in 2020.
Thank you, Captain Cynthia and Paul. We, Japan Fair Trade Commission members, welcome all the passengers of this partial tour. We would like to take this opportunity to thank you very much for your full cooperation, and it was such a great pleasure to work with you as a co-chair of MWG from 2017 to 2020 ICN years. From Tokyo, we would like to introduce some of the latest MWG activities JFTC lead.
We'd like to begin with ICN Congruent Merger Project Report, which is published last June. The ICN Merger Working Group selected congruent mergers as the final topic for its series examining aspects of non-horizontal mergers. For purposes of this project, congruent mergers were defined as mergers involving products or services that customers perceive as complementary or for which customers may have independent demand. The Merger Working Group's tour in the digital world continued in 2019 to 2020. We organized the new experience sharing teleseminar series on digital mergers. In October 2019, speakers from agencies introduced expert reports on digital economy and its relevance to merger review. In January 2020, distinguished speakers discussed cutting-edge issues on nascent competitions. In addition to those activities, the MWG continues to maintain the merger cooperation framework, currently consisting of 61 competition authorities around the world. The framework provides contact details of agency liaison officers to facilitate information exchange between cooperating agency case teams. The JFTC continues to administer the framework and promotes it based on the user survey and the creation of the new tools such as flyer and sample information request form.
Again, thank you very much for your full cooperation. And it was such a great pleasure to work with you. The JFTC stepped down from a co-chair of MWG in May. But we are happy to continue to contribute to the future project of the MWG. Now flight MWG 2021 cleared for takeoff from Tokyo. Bye-bye.
Passengers, this is your captain speaking again. We are approaching Melbourne, last and final destination of our flight around the merger world, where our colleagues from the ACCC will explain the latest ICN workshop successfully celebrated in 2020. Thank you for flying with us today. We understand you had a choice of working groups, and we're very grateful you spent time with the MWG.
In late February, we hosted the 2020 ICN Merger Workshop. After so many years of being a guest going to this workshop all over the world, it was an absolute delight to host it in Melbourne this year. We welcomed over 200 attendees from 45 countries, a diverse mix of attendees from around the world, ranging from agency heads to case officers and of course our distinguished NGAs. I was delighted to see that many of the attendees were from competition authorities who were just developing their merger regimes. I feel it was a blend of differing experiences and perspectives that made the workshop discussions so valuable. The workshop sessions were built around the theme of how authorities can achieve the right balance in their approach to merger review in a changing market environment. And of course, we've had one hell of a changing market environment. The plenaries focused on big picture issues such as who should bear the burden of proof in merger cases? Is there a need to rethink our approach to merger assessment in digital markets, which of course is an issue that's going to be with us for a number of years to come? And thirdly, how authorities individually and collectively are approaching key questions of process and procedure. There are also breakout sessions on targeted topics, which included the latest economic thinking, international remedies, technology-assisted document review, and international cooperation in merger review. We received overwhelmingly positive feedback about the workshop, which was great. Its success, of course, was due to the lively and active participation of both the attendees, but of course also the speakers and the moderators who contributed so much to setting up the platform for such insightful discussions. Of course, the benefits of these workshops extend well beyond the formal sessions and the agenda topics. The time attendees have to mix and meet and share stories and experiences is always incredibly valuable. The magnificent dinner at the Melbourne Museum that brought us together highlighted the camaraderie built up during the workshops. I think it is vital that we build on the goodwill and the experiences of that workshop and of course all the ones that have preceded it, and continue to exchange information and foster cooperation on the common merger issues we all face across the globe. In February, attending a workshop such as the one we held was commonplace. We did it all the time. But since this absolutely dreadful pandemic, of course, we can't do that. What we can do is use the video facilities we're using today, which I think is just fantastic to keep us all together, to keep us communicating. What I hope, and what I know you all hope, is that very soon we'll be able to meet again in person, share stories, have great discussions in person over a cup of coffee or a glass of wine, and I hope that's not too far away. Until then, stay safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your active cooperation in the Merger Working Group last year.
You, the national competition authorities and our valued NGAs are what makes this group proactive and effective.
We look forward to working with all of you in our project next year.